So imagine you're walking down a street in this totally unfamiliar neighborhood. You're hungry, you're looking for a place to eat, and you see a restaurant.
Okay, setting the scene.
Right. And the sign is hanging there, the building is physically real, but the lights inside are just super dim. There's no menu posted in the window, and you really can't tell if anyone is actually sitting inside.
Oh, I'm definitely not walking in there.
Exactly. You keep walking, right? You keep walking until you find the place with, like, the chatter, the clinking glasses, that visible proof of life.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
And the thing is, that exact same psychological instinct applies entirely to the digital world. And today, in this deep dive, we have exclusive access to this leaked, client-ready strategy document that proves exactly how businesses deliberately manufacture that proof of life from scratch.
It really is a masterclass in psychological safety, honestly. What we're looking at today is an executive marketing audit and growth strategy.
Right.
It was drafted by a group called the Antaryami VA Network, and they put this together for a very real client, a real estate project called Seven Hills Icon City.
Right. And so our goal for today's deep dive is to basically reverse engineer this document to figure out exactly how a local business builds digital trust, because you, as the listener, are going to see how universal this is.
Oh, absolutely.
So Seven Hills Icon City is operating in the Rajahmundry and Rajanagram belt of India. They're selling plotted real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, according to this audit, they actually have a highly marketable product.
Yeah, the land is good.
The land is good. And if you search for them, they have a pin on Google Maps. Like, they physically exist. But unfortunately, that is pretty much where the good news ends.
Yeah, I mean, they exist as a literal coordinate on a map, but they are what the audit effectively describes as a digital ghost town.
A ghost town.
Exactly. Because in a high-intent, high-ticket market like real estate, simply existing just isn't enough. You have to prove you're actually active.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit, because the missing pieces here are pretty glaring. They have, like, no structured reviews.
None.
Their visual merchandising is practically zero. So no site photos showing the land, no amenities being highlighted, no before and after storytelling of the development.
Nothing to grab onto.
Right. And they completely lack any sort of official dominant presence on Facebook or Instagram.
Which is just catastrophic for trust. I mean, think about it. When you're asking someone to make a major financial investment like buying real estate, the buyer is actively searching for reasons to eliminate you from their list.
Wow, yeah, that's true. They want to lower their risk.
Exactly. So when a prospect searches your name and they can't find an official active page with recent updates, their trust doesn't just evaporate into thin air. It shifts.
Oh, it goes somewhere else.
Right. It immediately transfers to your competitors, or maybe to local brokers, or to those massive online listing portals that actually look established.
Well, let's talk about those competitors then, because someone is clearly eating Seven Hills lunch here.
Oh, for sure.
The document specifically calls out local players who are doing this the right way. So they mention Akela Seven Hills, Smart City, SB Ventures, and Pranav Developer.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
And the audit notes that these competitors are highly active. They publish dedicated project pages, they lean heavily into local storytelling, and they consistently put out content that positions them as authorities in the market.
They are actively claiming that digital territory. But the core thesis of the Antaryami Network's strategy isn't just to copy the guy down the street. It's actually much more ambitious than that.
Really? How so?
Well, they argue that a local property brand can actually defeat the absolute giants of the industry, like those massive online property directories, just by transforming into a true digital storefront.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, but wait, I have to push back on that.
Go for it.
We are talking about massive tech companies here. These property aggregators and listing sites, they have endless marketing budgets, millions in venture funding, whole teams of engineers optimizing every single pixel on their websites.
Yeah, they're the Goliaths.
Right. So are you seriously telling me a local developer in East Godavari can beat a giant algorithm just by being a digital storefront and being a little more human? I mean, that sounds like a bit of a naive underdog fantasy.
I get that. And what's fascinating here is that it does sound naive until you look at the actual psychology of the purchase.
Okay, explain that.
Well, when we're talking about plotted real estate, you have to remember what is actually being sold. You are not buying a finished house where you can walk in, turn on the faucets, and check the water pressure.
Right, it's just land.
Exactly. You are essentially buying a patch of dirt and a promise. You're buying the promise that roads will be paved, that electricity will be connected eventually, and that the area will actually appreciate in value.
So the risk feels just astronomically high to the buyer.
Precisely. And in that scenario, buyers crave safety over volume. I mean, a massive listing portal can show you 10,000 plots of land in a fraction of a second. They have unlimited volume.
But no connection.
Right. They severely lack emotional trust. If you have a question about the soil quality or, like, a nearby landmark, the portal can't answer you. A local brand wins by providing radical accountability.
Oh.
They offer regional language support. They provide real-time follow-ups using a tool like WhatsApp.
Which, by the way, feels incredibly personal. Like, a WhatsApp message isn't an automated email from some do not reply address. It's a ping on literally the most intimate messaging app on your phone.
Exactly. A responsive local team that, say, sends you a customized recorded video of the actual plot you're considering, or shoots you a quick update showing a nearby highway being expanded, that creates a profound sense of accountability.
It makes them real.
Right. The buyer feels this tangible connection, like, I know who you are, I know where your office is, and I can reach you instantly. An anonymous, algorithm-driven listing portal just simply cannot manufacture that level of psychological safety.
So volume doesn't close the deal. Accountability does. People aren't going to hand over their life savings to an algorithm. But, I mean, knowing that hyperlocal trust is the ultimate weapon is one thing. How do you actually build it when you are starting as a literal ghost town?
That's the challenge.
And the Antaryami VA Network lays out this very specific 3-month playbook. They break it down into foundation, visibility, and scale.
And I have to say, the pacing of this playbook is crucial. Because if we connect this to the bigger picture, they do not rush to ask for the sale. Month 1 is entirely dedicated to foundation and trust setup.
Right. So they aren't running out and buying billboards or blanketing the internet with spammy ads.
Not all.
They start by meticulously optimizing the Google business profile, and they get highly targeted with the search intent. They're optimizing for terms like plots in Rajahmundry or investment plots in East Godavari and gated community plots.
And notice the difference in those keywords.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't trying to rank for generic terms like real estate India.
That would be way too broad.
Right. They're capturing high-intent local traffic. If someone is typing investment plots in East Godavari, they have likely already made the decision to buy. They're just looking for who to buy from.
And alongside that Google optimization, they're unifying the brand's look across Facebook and Instagram. But I think the most critical piece they establish in month 1 is setting up this WhatsApp-first lead response workflow.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah. They're wiring the entire digital presence so that the moment a buyer shows interest, the conversation moves immediately to WhatsApp.
Because speed is a trust signal. I mean, if you fill out a web form and get an automated email 3 days later, your enthusiasm is completely gone, and so is your trust.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you get a polite human WhatsApp message within like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
you instantly feel like this business is organized, professional, and hungry for your business.
Yeah, they're paying attention to you.
Right. But again, notice what they're not doing in month 1. They're not pushing hard sell ads. They're just building the infrastructure of credibility. They're basically turning the lights on inside the restaurant.
I love that. Which brings us to month 2, which is visibility. So the lights are on, the tables are set, and now it's time to get people looking in the window.
Exactly.
This is where they ramp up the content engine. So the playbook calls for 3 to 4 social posts a week, plus 2 reels per week, and they launch these geo-targeted meta ads. But the targeting strategy here is fascinating to me.
It's really clever.
Yeah, they aren't just putting ads in front of locals in Rajahmundry. They are deliberately targeting Hyderabad-based investors and NRIs and non-resident Indians.
Which is such a brilliant tactical move.
Yeah.
Because why target NRIs? Well, non-resident Indians, people living in the U.S., the U.K., or the Middle East, they often have significant purchasing power and this strong emotional or familial desire to invest back in their home state.
Right.
But they face a massive hurdle, which is that they cannot physically drive out to see the plot of land.
Oh, right. So they're entirely dependent on the digital storefront.
Entirely. Their whole perception of the project's legitimacy is based on what they see on their screens. If the digital presence is a ghost town, they won't invest a single dime.
Naturally.
But if they see a constant stream of high-quality reels showing road access, nearby landmarks, and development progress, that geographic distance is bridged by digital trust.
And the content they're putting out in month 2 isn't just like, hey, buy this plot. It's heavily focused on location storytelling.
Yes.
They're answering the question of why this specific corridor is growing. So they're educating the buyer on the macroeconomics of the area before they ever even pitch the micro details of the property.
Right. They are selling the neighborhood before they sell the dirt. By the time the buyer reaches out, they're already convinced that East Godavari is the right place to invest.
The only remaining question is just whether Seven Hills is the right partner.
Exactly, which sets up month 3 beautifully. Month 3 is lead conversion and scale. And this is where the training wheels kind of come off. They start implementing retargeting campaigns for people who opened lead forms earlier, but didn't quite finish filling them out.
And for anyone unfamiliar, retargeting is basically the digital equivalent of a salesperson noticing you staring at a car in the lot, walking away, and then gently reaching out a few days later to say, hey, I noticed you like that model. We actually have a special financing offer on it this week.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it's highly effective because you're only spending money to talk to people who have already raised their hands.
And that's exactly what they do here.
Yeah.
They push offer-based campaigns like scheduling free site visits. And this is also where the audit gets deeply analytical.
Oh, yeah, they get into the weeds.
They demand measurement of the cost per lead, meaning, how much ad money do we have to burn just to get one viable phone number?
Right.
And they track the visit to booking ratio. So out of every 10 people who physically drive out to look at the dirt, how many actually sign a check?
So what does this all mean? Looking at the entire 3-month playbook, it's basically a sequence of earning the right to ask for money.
Basically, yeah.
Like month 1 is building the stage and turning the lights on. Month 2 is handing out flyers to the right neighborhoods and telling them a good story. And month 3 is finally actually asking the audience to buy a ticket to the show.
That is a perfect analogy, and it highlights precisely why so many small businesses just bleed money when they try digital marketing.
Yeah.
Because most businesses skip straight to month 3.
Oh, all the time.
They build a bare-bones website, they panic about revenue, and they immediately start paying Facebook or Google for ads that scream buy now on day 1.
And those ads just bounce right off the audience.
Because there's no foundation of trust.
Yeah.
I mean, if I see your ad, the first thing I do is click over to your profile. And if your profile has no recent posts, no reviews, and looks abandoned, I'm going to assume your business is either failing or it's a total scam.
Right.
You must build the digital storefront before you spend heavily on inviting people inside.
But, I mean, building that storefront and running those ads requires capital. And the audit doesn't shy away from this at all. It pivots directly into the actual economics of trust.
Let's talk about the math.
Yeah, the Antaryami proposal lays out a very deliberate budget split for their marketing efforts. It's a 60% paid, 40% organic split.
And that 60-40 split really is the engine of the entire operation.
Yeah.
The 60% paid effort, so the meta lead ads, the targeted Google search terms, that's designed to force immediate visibility and drive leads today.
Get people in the door.
Exactly. While the 40% organic effort, the reels, the storytelling, the Google business profile management, that's designed to build long-term credibility, which eventually lowers your cost to acquire a customer.
And they break this down into clear pricing packages for the client. So the basic package is around 18,000 to 25,000 rupees a month.
Right.
The standard package, which they heavily recommend as sort of the sweet spot, sits at 35,000 to 50,000 rupees a month. And that gets the client 12 to 16 posts, the reels, and the full setup of the ad funnel and that WhatsApp integration.
Which is key.
Right. And then there's a premium tier pushing 60,000 to 90,000 plus rupees.
Which, in the context of the South Indian real estate market, is a highly calibrated pricing structure.
Yeah.
But the way they sell this to the client, like the actual return on investment pitch, is what really seals the deal.
Yeah, the ROI pitch is incredibly aggressive. They basically argue that if Seven Hills commits to this 3-month roadmap, within 60 to 90 days, closing just 1 or 2 successful property sales will completely cover several months of this entire marketing retainer.
It pays for itself.
Right. But let me ask you a direct question here, kind of putting myself in the shoes of a listener who might be running a local business and looking at their own tight budget.
Yeah.
Is a 60% paid allocation really necessary? I mean, isn't that too aggressive for a brand that, as we established in month 1, is just starting to build its reputation? Like, why not focus 90% of your effort on organic content until people just naturally discover you?
This raises an important question, and it's one that every single small business owner wrestles with. But the harsh reality of the modern internet is that organic reach-like, simply posting a photo and hoping the platform shows it to your audience, is effectively dead for new businesses.
Wow. Dad.
Yeah. The algorithms on platforms like Facebook and Instagram prioritize highly engaging viral content. So if you post a beautiful, informative video about the soil quality of a real estate plot in East Godavari organically, maybe 20 people will see it.
Because the platforms don't just give away free attention anymore. I mean, they're ad businesses. They want you to pay for the megaphone.
Exactly. So imagine you spend all of month one meticulously building these incredible trust assets. You've got a beautiful Google profile, a compelling localized story, a seamless WhatsApp funnel.
You did all the hard work.
Right. But if you rely solely on organic reach, it will take you a year and a half just to get enough eyeballs on those assets to generate a single sale. You need that 60% paid effort to forcefully drive targeted attention. So those Hyderabad investors, those NRIs, directly onto the 40% organic trust assets you just built.
Ah, I see. So it's a totally symbiotic relationship. The paid ads buy the attention, but the organic profile is what actually converts that attention into trust.
Precisely. If you run ads without organic trust, people think you're a scam. But if you have organic trust without ads, you're just the best kept secret in town, and you go bankrupt because nobody knows you exist.
You have to have both.
You really do.
Paid buys the attention, organic converts it into trust. You know, when you step back and look at the entirety of this document, which again is an audit for a plotted development project in Rajahmundry, you realize the lessons here transcend real estate completely.
Oh, 100%.
For you, the listener, whether you are selling software consulting services or running a bakery, the takeaway here is that your digital presence is not a passive placeholder. It's not just a digital yellow pages listing where you put your phone number and just hope for the best.
It's an active engine.
Right. It is an active, living trust engine. If you're a local business, the way you beat the massive faceless directories is by moving faster, acting incredibly human, and rigorously following a disciplined foundation-to-scale playbook.
That really is the universal architecture of modern commerce. And I want to leave you, the listener, with a framework for the next time you're navigating the digital world.
Let's hear it.
The next time you search for a local service, whether you're looking for a new dentist, a plumber, or a contractor for your kitchen, look closely at their digital storefront. Stop and notice if they are running this exact playbook on you.
Oh, that's interesting.
Are they answering your unspoken anxieties before you even ask? Are they grounding their business with local landmarks? Are they reducing friction by offering an immediate WhatsApp conversation instead of a clunky email form?
Yeah, look for those signals.
Once you understand the mechanics, you'll start to see this architecture of digital trust everywhere, and you will realize how carefully your confidence is actually being manufactured.
It fundamentally changes how you experience the internet. But it also leaves me with a slightly provocative, lingering thought for you all to mull over.
Okay, what is it?
If every business eventually masters this, I mean, if every local contractor, real estate developer, and corner cafe adopts this perfectly polished 3-month blueprint to manufacture flawless digital trust, will we as consumers eventually become blind to these perfect trust signals?
Oh, wow.
Right. Like if every digital storefront has perfect lighting, beautiful reviews, and a seamless WhatsApp funnel, might we eventually start seeking out the unpolished, messy reality of businesses just to know that they're actually real?
That's a fascinating point.
It's something to chew on the next time you find yourself intentionally ignoring the 5-star corporate chain just to eat at that perfectly imperfect, slightly chaotic local spot down the street